Hi, everyone. It's Travis Clark with No Off Season. And right now, I've got a very special guest, Vincent McDowell, who is a real estate agent at Keller Williams Silicon City, kind of a jack of all trades as well. And so it's really great chatting with you, Vincent.
Same here. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I like the Hawaiian shirt vibe you got going on. So,
Actually, I have
um,
a closet full of them, but I actually wore this one thinking you would recognize it in our earlier call today.
Oh, yeah, that we did do another call today on we did do a review of the Michael Jackson movie, which we don't need to rehash it. Let's just say we both gave it 5 stars,
There you go.
right?
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
And obviously we both love Hawaiian shirts, so I think that's a start. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Couple minutes, like where you're from, uh, what you enjoy doing, your family, that kind of stuff.
Very eclectic background. Vincent McDowell, realtor, Keller Williams, Silicon City. Born, raised in Mobile, Alabama. Moved to Detroit,
Roll
Michigan.
Tide.
Right, and
I just
moved to
had to say
Detroit,
it. I had to say.
Detroit, Michigan. I
Mhm.
was there
Go
during the
blue.
era of the Pistons,
Mhm.
three-peat.
Okay.
Absolutely amazing, and Barry Sanders. And then I moved to California in the early 90s.
I
Worked at
like how you
Stanford.
attached I like how you attached a sports scenario to every place you've said you've lived so far. So, all right, just
I
keep going.
attached to what you say?
A sports scenario.
Right,
Okay.
right, right, right.
Yeah, okay.
Um, it's sort of like when you moved, like, I moved here, and of course the 49ers were in the early 90s were everything, right? So you can't not be a fan of them. It's kind of difficult. Someone asked me when the 49ers played against Detroit Lions, who do I root for? And it's hard to say until the game actually starts. And I realize I'm really more of a 49ers fan. Um, and even though I've actually spent more time in California, I still have that home is Detroit or Mobile. And so I worked at Stanford, I worked at Visa International, and here I am.
Nice. And you how many kids do you have?
Two kids, boy, girl. Vincent Jr. is the oldest, and Victoria. They both graduated college last year. Victoria with the bachelor's in performing arts. She's an
Mhm.
opera singer at San Jose Opera House in San Jose. And my son got his master's in electrical engineering, and he works in robotics in R&D in Mountain View, Sunnyvale area.
Nice. And you're married.
Married, my wife has a nail salon that she's worked at for in Los Gatos, going on over 25 years now.
Nice. And I know over time, like getting to know you, I feel like there's just a lot of stuff going on, and hopefully we get to some of it. Like you got a rental property in Sacramento. I think you got a couple other things that you have going on. You're in various networking groups, and politicians and famous people, and like every time I have a conversation with you, there's something cool that comes up. So hopefully we'll get into some of that. And I know before we were one of the questions I said was, where have you traveled to, right? Like
Right.
where has Vincent traveled to and what is the coolest place you've been?
That's one thing I want to do more of. I traveled to St. Lucia on a
Mm,
scuba diving trip. We
okay.
did what is it? 14 dives, I think, in a week and a half, something like that. 2 night dives. Unbelievable trip. We stayed at a place called Anse which is on a bunch of bungalows on the side of a cliff. And every morning went out for scuba diving, and then in the afternoon. The other place is Italy, Saint um, uh, went for a concert with my daughter, sang with um, Pasquale Esposito in a PBS special, which was an absolutely incredible event. And
Nice.
went to Rome. While we were in Rome, we got to actually see the Pope canonize Mother Teresa right there in the square, all by coincidence. Um, And of course, when I lived in Detroit, we would go across the river into Canada, right?
Canada, eh? Yeah.
Right. But I definitely
Some
want
of
to travel more.
so I was in the military before for 4 years after I got out of high school, and I think I've been to 24 or 25 different countries. It was a
Wow.
really cool experience. Looking back, I really wanted out of the military the whole time I was in the military, because I was in like during the second Gulf War, so it was pretty stressful. But on the way over there, we stopped in Hawaii, we stopped in Guam, we stopped in Okinawa, stopped in Singapore, Thailand, the UAE, Dubai, Bahrain. I've been to the Fuddruckers in Kuwait City.
Okay.
Literally boots on the ground, ate a hamburger in Kuwait City. Not sure it was actually a hamburger, but I did it.
It's probably
Um,
camel.
oh, that ruined my night. But it was so long ago, I guess it doesn't matter. But the coolest place I've been, well, there's two, I would say, is Patong Beach in Thailand. The
Okay.
most beautiful place I've ever been.
Beautiful in
Like
what way?
it's like Hawaii kind of, but when you're at the beach looking out, you see those rocks kind of out in the water, and the water is just clear, white
Right.
sand beaches, pretty cool. And then I went to Perth and Fremantle in Australia,
Okay.
and Perth was really cool. They really, at that time, I'm not sure now, but at that time, they really liked Americans. They thought we were pretty cool. It's funny because when you're talking to people in Australia, they'll say, "Oh, keep talking. I love your accent." Right?
Right.
And I'm like, "You too. Keep talking. I love your accent."
Right.
Yeah. So traveling, it seems like we got in common. And what's the place that you want to go that you haven't went yet?
Well, I went to Vietnam in 2002, and then I went again in 2016. But the place I want to go that I've never been is Egypt.
Oh, that's cool.
That's the place I want to go, and I want to scuba dive in that area. There are a lot of what do you call it, underwater cities.
Hmm.
Wouldn't that be nice?
The One of the other places that I went to was Aqaba, Jordan, in the Red Sea.
Uh huh.
And I actually went water skiing in the Red Sea, which is kind of cool. But
Okay.
Aqaba is at the top of it, right? So I think you could see Egypt, Jordan, is it Iran maybe? I whatever those countries are right there, but where you're standing on
Israel.
the beach, you could see four different countries.
Right.
And but the
Lebanon.
water, it's the best diving in the world. Have you stayed? They have that movie called The Red Sea Diving Resort or whatever.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, the best diving in the world, I guess, is right there in Aqaba, Jordan. So
Am
food
I
for thought.
correct that the water is salt water?
It is. It's salt water, but it's really, really clear. Like you could see like 100 feet down. It's
Right. And
wild.
people go there, and that for some reason that water heals them. What I understand. Did you feel
Felt like
healed?
it felt like normal salt water to me, dude. But the laying on the beach, relaxing, having fun. I mean, I actually did research. Yeah, I'm thinking about at some point I'd love to move out of the United States. I'm looking at a couple places, right? And I've looked at Portugal or Costa Rica. I did look at Aqaba, Jordan, and there's a large expat community, and they actually want Americans to move there. So I
Hmm.
don't know if I'll pull the trigger on it, but I would say that would maybe be the third coolest place that I've been, and the probably the place where I felt the people that were living there were the nicest. Aqaba, Jordan, also is where the ancient city of Petra is. Like they filmed Indiana Jones in there. Where they're
Okay.
running through those caverns and caves and stuff. That's or they kind of round that corner and there's these big
Right.
buildings built into a rock
Right.
face. That's Petra. So that's
I want
right
to see
there.
that. I want to see that. I met the Queen of Jordan
Yeah, she
many
was
years
married.
ago.
She was an American.
Right, she's beautiful.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
went to the World Economic Summit in San Francisco,
Hmm.
and I met at that event. They're all on the panel, and I had like I think I was in the first row, first or second row, and what's the name? Gorbanov. When I said
Gorbachev?
Gorbachev.
Damn, that's a
Gorbachev was
long
there.
time ago, bro.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Gorbachev, the Queen of Jordan, the president of Haiti,
Hmm.
and it was two more people. I forget who they were, but very impressive. And they were all
Yeah.
very what do you call it? Approachable.
Yeah.
Probably can't do that today though.
No, yeah. I mean, you're talking things have changed, right? I don't.
Unbelievable,
Yeah, I don't think I could walk around in some of the places I walked around in when I was in the military now. Oh,
right?
um I also went to Singapore. And Singapore, I don't know if you know, quick fact, is the cleanest city in the world.
Absolutely. And you
And
cannot even can't spit on you can't spit gum on the ground, right?
yeah, I was going to say we got warned before we left the ship that if you get caught throwing trash on the ground or chewing gum, they might cane you in public.
I remember a young man, I think in the early '90s, went over there and thought he can get away with it, and it became a world, situation between the U.S. and Singapore for him not to get caned.
Well, I mean, they were really clear with us on that. So,
So is that the answer to homelessness? I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that.
I mean, it's the answer to keeping things clean, I guess, right? But
Right.
we would, as Americans, we would just say, I have the not freedom of speech, but I have the freedom to throw trash wherever I want. So
Right.
F off.
So people
But
look at
there,
me
they
crazy
can,
because I pick up trash off the ground and put it in the garbage can. I don't like littering
yeah.
at all.
So I met you through our productivity coaching program I manage the productivity coaching program in Silicon City. And by the way, you're about to close on a transaction, so I'm really proud of you. I thought you did a lot of hard work on this one, and I do see you as one of the people that's going to be really great in this business. And I think one of the reasons that you're going to be great and that sets you apart, Vincent, is your ability to have conversations with people. Number one. And then building off of that, you have this ability not just to have conversations, but to create relationships with people. And I feel every time I talk to you, you're talking to me about some event or some network you're involved in or somebody you just met. And so if you could weave in some of what we've taught you in the coaching program, but then, what your plan is and how important these relationships are, and give us a couple ideas of some of the things you're doing to create these relationships.
So I got out of that car tonight and I went to grab some keys that I had inside the glove box.
Yep.
And I pulled out a stack of business cards that I've gotten in the last, maybe the last month from events, right? And I thought to myself, I have to put these cards in my database and start following up. And the crazy thing is, some of these people are already following up with me, right? I should be following up with them. And driving home tonight, I thought about the fact that my sphere of influence of people that I meet is really vast, and I need to start working that network much, much more. And the people that I meet, for whatever reason, I walk away with like really genuine relationships with them, friendships with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like tomorrow morning, I got a text on the way home tonight. I was invited to play golf at Silver Creek tomorrow morning at 7:20. Well, 7:20 is very early, but I can't pass that up, right?
No.
And this is the person that invited me to play golf with about the two teams, right? And this group, they're incredible people, and they're all business people, right? Multi very successful business people. So working that network, it's not, it's a working it is like a bad connotation. It's just I enjoy talking to people.
That's what I was gonna say. I feel in all my conversations with you, I mean, I teach a lot about the importance of creating these networks, right? You're actually like living in it, right? Every conversation I have with you, you tell me about some event you were at, some event you organized, some scenario where you met a group of people or you were interacting with really wealthy people, people who own properties, people who have influence. But I really like how you have a focus of not going in for the sale, right?
Right,
You, number one, it's important to you that you're creating the relationship. Number two, I think you really enjoy having the relationship, right? Even if you don't get a sale out of it, some of the conversations I have with you lead me to believe that, cool, I'm making a friendship here, right? I'd like to go play golf with these people. I'd like to go have drinks with these people. I'd like to, go to a movie with these people. I'd like to, go have lunch with these people, whatever. Uh, and you've created this environment where you attract those kind of people, right?
so before,
Eventually, they're all going to know that you are in real estate and that you're really good at it also, right?
right, I'm gonna go out of my
And that,
way now to make sure that they know I'm a realtor
yeah.
unapologetically.
So
And I
you're
went,
being a little bit more aggressive about
yeah,
talking about the fact that you're a realtor.
right. And I thought about it, and I said be more aggressive, but aggressive is not the right word.
No, it's not. You're right. I
I
shouldn't have said it.
when I went to go see the Michael Jackson movie on the premiere Wednesday night, I went across the way there at the mall at the Outback and had a glass of wine at the bar, right? And people, I met this woman at the bar. We had so much fun at the bar. People were asking, like, "How do you know? Did you already know her?" Right? And she said, "No, we just met, and we had the best time. One of the best times."
Yeah, I think that of all the people that I work with inside of the real estate programs that we run, right? You have this, I don't know, a aura or like magnetic attraction to people, right? And I think that whether you're in sales, right? Or if you're in coaching, right? Or if you're in business, or if you're a nuclear physicist, it doesn't matter. You have to have the ability to interact and connect with other human beings,
Right,
right? Not in a
right.
fake way, but in a genuine way. I find myself after having conversations with you, right? Like I need to, and I'm pretty good at it, but I need to like step up my game. Like I need to get myself
Seriously.
involved in more things, but I was thinking about it the other night. I'm sitting on my couch, I'm watching Netflix, I'm kind of bored as shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, Vincent's probably at some cool networking
Did
thing
you
right
really?
now. Yeah, that's exactly exactly what I was thinking. And so I hope to step that up, over time. And um yeah, so all right,
Yeah.
just asking you like more questions. What's the most fun thing you've ever done in your life?
The most fun thing ever done in my life. Wow. I've done a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this one of the most fun things would be the scuba diving trip in St. Lucia. Here's one for you. My aunt and uncle bought a new car, a Lexus, in I forget what year that was, in the 90s. And they drove to the house, my house, showed me the car, and they said, "You drive, and I wouldn't care where you go. Let's just drive and see where we end up." So every time I got to a split in the road, like 85 at 101, I say north or south. And we go back and forth and laugh about where we could end up. And we ended up going south. And then I drove, and as we're driving down, we just stopped at various places, right? And went into some really fancy hotels and on the beaches and seafood on the way. And we ended up, two stories on this one here. We ended up going to the one little bitty hotel on a cliff right past Hearst Castle. And by chance, there was a fire department having a reunion there, and they were at in the jacuzzi having drinks, and they had this thing where they were bringing out a bucket of seafood and a bucket of beer, and you take that and you go and sit on the cliff, overlook the ocean, and eat, have a great time. And then the next day we drove, and we ended up, I forget the name of the city, but it's a little city where Michael Jackson's house is.
San Ynez?
Yes, right.
Yeah.
And
Neverland Ranch, dude. Neverland Ranch.
Right. We went to this winery, and we're talking to this one guy, and he was telling me that he lived in this city all of his life. He was born there. It's a small town, whatever. He said one claim to fame is that Michael Jackson lives in the city. And I said, where? So he told me how to get to the house, and I drove to the house and knocked on Michael Jackson's gate.
Yeah? Did anyone answer?
I rung the bell, and this guy came on, and he said, may I help you? And I said, yes, I'm here to see Michael Jackson. And he said, is he expecting you? I said, no, I just happened to be in the neighborhood. Thought I'd stop by and say hi. And he said, well, I'm sure he would really appreciate that, but he's not here right now. But if you like, you can I'll take a message and leave it for him. I said, that'll be great. He said, I tell you what, I'll bring some pen and paper to the gate and to you. And he got his what do you call it, the golf cart, and drove from the house. And you know that big, pretty fancy gate that you see in the shows? You can't see that from the road. From the road, it's just a regular wooden gate. The house is way back across the hill. He came over, and I wrote a note to Michael Jackson, and said I was his one of his biggest fans, whatever, and left it.
Nice.
That was a really fun trip.
Probably based on what we saw in that movie tonight, I'll bet if he was home, there's a slight chance he would have came out and said hi to you.
I bet you. Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. Coolest thing that I've ever done, I would say, is when I brought my son Calix to Hawaii for the first time. And I still have pictures of it on my refrigerator. I try to take him every year, so I have all these pictures. I think we've went 4 times now. And I have ones when he was like half my size, and then he's almost now the pictures I'm getting with him, he's taller than me. But I think it's kind of cool that Hawaii's my favorite place,
right?
And it's really, you can't tell, right, on my social media that Hawaii's my favorite place. But yeah, that's my favorite. And then as you were talking, one of my friends told me about this trip, and I'm going to throw this at you, Vincent, and feel free to, if you're up for it and we have a couple weeks, I would love to do it. Okay. One of my friends went on to ChatGPT, or one of these kind of AI things, a couple years ago. And he bought an RV, like one of the driving ones, right? And he said, I think it was a 4-month. So, we wouldn't be able to go for 4 months, but just go with me on this. It was a 4-month tour of the United States with the plan to avoid the worst weather. Right?
Okay.
And it said, basically draw me a map, take me to, all of the cool national parks and cool things you could do in the United States, even the random things like the biggest ball of yarn, for example, or whatever, all that random stuff you could do.
Right.
Yeah, he literally, because he had just retired, and him and his girlfriend got in their Winnebago that they just bought, and they went out for 4 months and just followed this map that ChatGPT had made. And man, when I got on the phone with them, I mean, he went to like Bryce and Zion and Four Corners and the Grand Canyon and these random places in Texas. And, they went kind of south and then up. He said they were doing lobster stuff in Maine and Vermont. They went to Burlington, Vermont. They went, they
Wow.
just kind of zigzagged around the country. They went to Canada for a while. Like how fun does like a random trip like that sound, right? Where you're just
So
I kind of how you said, like just going left or right, like
I've done
hitting
that
in
many
one of those.
times. I've done that many times. I love driving. I used to drive from Detroit to Mobile 4 times a year when I was much younger. But just last year, my son had an internship in Jacksonville, Indiana,
Mm-hmm.
and we drove from here to Indiana to drop him off so he could have his car. And that was a great trip. And then we picked him up. My family of 4 drove from Indiana to Kentucky and stopped by Muhammad Ali's museum.
Mm-hmm.
And then went to Tennessee. We went to see what's the guy from American Idol, The Voice,
Mm-hmm.
the tall country singer Blake Shelton's
Like Shelton, yeah.
bar. And then we went to the other museums. Went down, and we got a hotel. And we went to Atlanta, did some things there. Went to Mobile, went to New Orleans, went and got the beignets, right? And then we went and we just drove all the way. Then we got to Texas and all the way across through Palm Springs, LA. And then by that time, we had to rush to get back and come back home. I love trips like that. Absolutely.
Well,
As a matter
I
of
know we
fact,
won't be able to go on like a 4 month one, but why don't we go on like one for a couple days? We can video it, like have some fun, go and do some random shit, man.
yeah,
You
I
know?
have a list of places. I have a list of all the parks in California I wanted to do. And then I have a list of all the parks across the country that I wanted to do. And then a list of all of the various museums that I wanted to do.
Okay, if I'm gonna ask you an important question.
All
You
right.
have a list of all these places that you want to go and see and do,
Right.
right?
Uh-huh.
What's holding you back from going and doing that?
So I just told you. So last year we actually did the trip, right? And Muhammad Ali's museum, I've always wanted to go there. We didn't get a chance to go inside, but I got a picture at the front door. And I always wanted to go to the um, um, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We got to go inside. We took a picture in front of it, right? Um, that's a very good question you just asked right there. My daughter is singing in New York. She's going to be in the parade in New York in June 12th, and then they have a big concert that evening. And I was going to go, right? And I thought we'll go to some musicals while we're over there on Broadway. And then just yesterday, I said I'm not going to go because I have too many other things in my mind that I have to do. And then I thought to myself, it's just a long weekend, Vincent. Just do it, right?
Yeah.
Right. But I have some things to take care of. But to your point, if I just carved the time out and just did it, you won't miss that weekend, right? You just
Exactly.
got to do it. You just have to do
I
it.
feel
That's the answer.
I work so much that there's so many things that I still want to do. It's hard for me to carve it out. And hearing some of these experiences that you've had, it kind of makes me think like, well, why don't I just go and do it?
Right.
Right? Like, why don't I just go and do it? And yeah, I think I might do like a bucket list thing of things I want to do in the United States, right? And then, what would it be for me? Just one less weekend of open houses? Like, why don't I just every couple weeks just try to go to a new place and um kind of experience a lot of stuff. It sounds like just chatting with you have like a lot of experiences doing a lot of things, going to a lot of places, seeing a lot of things, having a lot of conversations. Um, and I think that's really cool. So what's the oh, were you about to say something?
Yeah, I have a friend many years ago. He said to me, "Hey, Vincent, I've always wanted to go to every baseball park in the country, and I've only gone to, I think he said at the time, like two, maybe three." And he looked at me like, "What do you think?" And he was asking, "Do you want to do this with me, right?" And I was thinking, "No, I don't have time for that, right?" Today, he has literally gone to every baseball park in the country, I think, except for two
Pro ones or just total ones?
pro ones.
Oh, have you seen the guy that's trying to go to every Starbucks? There's like a documentary on it.
No,
He tries to go to every Starbucks in the United States, but they make them so fast that he can't get to them all quick enough.
you can't keep up.
He can't because he'll like start in California and then go up to like Oregon, Washington, and then as he's looping through Arizona, they're building more in San Diego already. So he never can like, yeah, he's tried to go to every single Starbucks, hasn't been able to. I think it's a consistent thing. He's still going. He can't
That was
can't
kind of crazy to me because what's his name? Magic Johnson owned 116 Starbucks. That's just crazy. But I was driving back from Detroit to California many years ago. We stopped in Salt Lake City,
Mm-hmm.
and this guy had the Jeep truck, and it was full of mud. And I go, why is it like so dirty? And he had driven out into the what do you call those, the salt land?
Yep. Salt flats.
Right. And out there is a ancient train station.
Mm-hmm.
And he was going around the country to visit every old train station, something like that.
That's crazy. It's crazy that people do that, but I think it's more like an excuse to do other things, really. Like if you're going to go see every Starbucks, I mean, you're going to literally go to every random spot in the world, right? I mean, or in the country.
Right.
There's thousands and thousands of them. The train station one, that's kind of cool. Um, I think one thing people could do maybe after listening to us is think, maybe I need to travel more. Maybe I need to come up with random plans or go on random camping trips or, like what you said, dude, you need to get on a plane and go to New York, dude. You don't want
I
to
have a
like,
lot of family in New York also.
you don't want to regret not going.
Right. I met this guy, his family, at a party, and we are talking. And last weekend, he had told me that they went to Vietnam for the weekend. So how do you go to Vietnam for the
Yeah, it
weekend?
takes a whole day to fly there, dude.
Right. He said it's a long weekend, and he said they usually do it to go to Paris all the time on the weekend because if you do it in advance or whatever these special trips, you can get discounted prices. And he said, why not? In most cases, you can actually work from anywhere on a laptop these days, right? Right. He said, you got to live a little. Life is too short.
Uh, yeah.
And he
I
and his
have that
wife, I've seen them, they travel a lot.
I have that Airbnb that we own up in Pine Mountain Lake, and I go up there sometimes and just work from there. So yeah, I mean,
Right.
why not? If you could find some cheap flights, right? Just go and do it. I mean, I think we don't do that enough, right? And so what? I mean, what about you? Do you have any questions for me? I've been the one shooting questions at you, but I mean, anything that's on your mind?
Yeah. So you said your favorite place to visit that you've traveled to is Hawaii. And
Mm.
you talk a lot about Hawaii. But, and then you said Australia, right? And Jordan. So you
Like
traveled a lot.
beaches. Have you noticed? Lots of beaches.
Lots of beaches, right?
Yeah.
So what do you do locally?
Mm. That's a good question, dude. Right? In all fairness, mostly, dude, I just work. I say it like I wish I didn't do it as much, right? I I'm in the Pleasanton Fleet Feet Running Club, so I do some running in that group sometimes. I'm also an assistant. I used to be a Division 1 college soccer coach, so now I'm an assistant soccer coach. Last year I was at Cal State Stanislaus. This year I'm going to be at UC Davis. So I'm
Wow.
coaching with Kat Mertz, and I do that because I enjoy it. I also enjoy the people. I enjoy the interactions. I try to work with a different coach every couple years so that I can. I worked with Gabe Bolton at Stanislaus and Amiria Salzman at Sonoma, and working with these people that are just really great motivators and leaders, and it teaches me a lot of things that I can incorporate into my business. But I enjoy doing that. Um, I have two dogs, dude. Gary and Puck. You've probably seen them, and
Right.
I hang out with my dogs. I mean, that's kind of a trap question because I don't do enough for me. Honestly, I if I'm being honest, I don't. And what I do, you probably see every now and then. It's like, oh, Travis is gone for the week. He's in Hawaii, right? And so I
Right.
think during the week I don't do anything really except work, but I pile up so many days that sometimes I just vanish.
So I heard this question, and I was really inspired by the answer. Right. So the question is, what is it that you do with your son that years from now your son will say, "This is special because I used to do this with my dad"?
Mm. I think it would be places to go, right? So there's a place in Kauai, the Kauai Beach Resort and Spa, that him and I really like going to. We also like going like to downtown Waikiki. I would say, sitting on a beach in the evening, right? Just like sitting on the sand, like looking up in the stars, listening to the waves kind of crash, and just relaxing. Him and I do that when we go to places. We even did it when we went to South Lake Tahoe. We like laid on the sand and like looked up at the stars. And I think it would be that. I think it would just be, chilling on a beach, looking up at the stars, listening to the waves, and hopefully it's in Hawaii. I mean, I love Hawaii, and I'll tell you why I love Hawaii. In California, you're driving around, you get to a four-way stop sign, everyone's flipping each other off, right? Like F you, it's my, they're speeding past each other. You get off the flight in Hawaii, you get your rental car, and the speed limit's 45 or 50 miles an hour on the highway. And all the locals have bumper stickers that say, slow down, you're not on the mainland, right? You go to a four-way stop sign in Hawaii and everybody kind of looks at each other and they're, no, you go, bro, you go, right?
Right.
And everyone is just really cool and chill with each other and relaxed. And for me, when I get to Hawaii, everything slows down. You know, I could be on the plane super stressed out. The second the door opens and I feel the humidity and I'm in one of those outdoor airports, my whole life just slows down. And it's the only place so far that I've been ever that happens, which
There's
leads me to I want to end up there. I want to retire there. I I just think that that's where I want to finish out my days.
So you said earlier you're looking for a place to move to. Sound like you to
Yes.
answer your question.
Well, I mean, I've looked at Costa Rica as an option. Similar type of environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot more Americans need to look at other places. I've done really well in the last few years in real estate. I've made a lot of money. I've bought properties, I've done a lot of things, but how much longer do I have to work to stay retired in Pleasanton, California, right?
So my number.
If if you were to Google search right now What quality of life could I live in the Philippines for $3,000 a month? Type that in. Right? Type that in as we talk, because there are places that you could go as a retired person. I mean, a lot of people have families and maybe they can't go. I get all that. But if you're somebody, if you and your wife can go, there are some places where just for like $3,000, what does it say? Like, what quality of life?
Oh, I know. I have some friends. They tell me all about living there with the maid and the butler and all of that.
Yeah, it's
Right?
if you did that, it's like they say that you'll live a luxury lifestyle, potentially with a chef and a driver for $3,000 a month, and you'll be living on the beach. That won't even pay for my mortgage in Pleasanton,
Right.
let alone
Right.
all the other things. And so I don't know where I'm going to end up, Vincent. You know, if I'm going to be really safe, it's going to be Hawaii. But I'll explore a couple other places. I mean, I have a son who is not out of high school yet, and I have things to consider. But um, I would love to end up on or near a beach. I don't know where
So
that
my
is yet.
go-to question is this here: hindsight 2020. What would you tell your younger self?
Uh, Travel more, live life, work later.
Hmm.
Travel more, live life, work later. What I mean by that is I would have spent, those college students you see sometimes and they're like backpacking in Europe, or they're, living in hostels in Costa Rica or Ecuador, or they're whatever. And then, they go to college, they're 22. So from 22 to 26, they're just traveling around. And then they start their work life right after that. That's what I would
Right.
do. Because I've had to grind my whole life up till now, and some of the things I want to do, I wish I would have done them when I was 25. Hindsight 2020, I would have tried to live life a little bit more when I was younger.
See,
Not
I'm just the
I had a
opposite.
good time when I was younger. I just was partying all the time. And I don't mean live life like that. I mean experience the world. I would have liked to have done that. I mean, I did when I was in the military, but I'm talking different, like backpacking Europe, right? Going and
Mhm.
seeing Rome, or all the things that you kind of like. I wish I could have done some of that stuff earlier.
What
You
was the
know,
best advice someone has ever given you?
talk less, listen more. That is the best advice that I've ever got, especially because I'm a high D and sometimes I overpower people in conversations.
Hmm.
But sometimes I'll catch myself talking and I'll stop.
What was the worst advice you ever received someone?
Hmm, man, worst advice. Probably to take the St. Mary's College soccer job at the time that I took it. Probably the worst advice I ever got.
Why is that?
So I was doing really well at the school I was at, and it was a jump in level, and I was in awe of the resources, the money, being at Division 1. And I didn't really factor in who I was playing against or how expensive it is to live up here. I kind of went for the glitz and glamour. But I did have a couple people that called me when they knew I was about to get that job, and they said, "Don't take it. Don't take it. Stay where you're at." I think that was my biggest mistake. Um, but it kind of led me to where I'm at now. I'm doing really great now. So, and I love Northern California and I love Pleasanton. So I guess I have to say things always happen for a reason. And I
Right.
would be down a totally different path, dude, if I didn't take that job. So
Yeah. One thing I try to get my kids to do is read more.
yeah, my son reads a ton.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, like
So how was
when
his
he was
vocabulary?
really great. But
See.
my we had him reading. We had him read. He was reading like the Harry Potter books 6 years ago, 7 years ago. I did 6, 7, right? But he was reading those books then, man. I mean, full on. So yeah, I mean, I think that's great. Have your kids do that more, right? I think it's incredible. Yeah. Well, dude, I don't want to take up much more of our time. We've just been sitting around. I'm gonna like label this one like a casual conversation between Vincent and Travis. See if people enjoy it. But it was great to learn a little bit more about you, and hopefully people that watch this, for you or for me, right? Look to create relationships with people before, don't try to get things out of people. If you create positive trust-based relationships with people, business will inherently follow, right? Don't press it, don't push too hard. And then the one thing that I've learned from you is like, don't just get into these social scenarios like for business. Get into these social circles because you enjoy being in them. If business never comes, you still like playing golf with those people. If business never comes, you still enjoy having your Sunday breakfast gatherings with those guys that you do that with, right?
Right.
And I think that there's a lot of people, not just in our business, but insurance, tech, pharmaceutical sales, different things. There are a lot of people in similar fields as us that don't try to create those relationships, or they try to go to the sales approach too fast. Right? I do say a lot in my classes, right, Vincent? People need to know you, like you, and trust you to do transactions or business with you. To get them to know you and like you and trust you, that takes a long time. And what I would advise for anyone listening to us is just focus on that. Focus on creating genuine relationships with people. Put yourself in social environments that you enjoy, and then whatever happens after that.
So I have the first Sunday breakfast. I have the second Saturday walk. I organized I have a theater group, about 30 people go see. We went to the Wiz, things like that, and I'm doing a fishing trip in June.
Cool, man.
So
can I go with you? I'll go with you on the fishing trip if you'll have me. I think that'd be fun. And then I would love to invite you to our movie on next Monday. We do the Monday Mystery Movie in Dublin, and it's my dad, Matt, two of my clients that go, and a couple other of our friends. So we'll try to get like a whole row or two to watch the mystery movie, and maybe you and I could review whatever movie that is next week if you're up to going.
Sounds great. Yeah. Last question for you.
Yeah.
NBA, who's gonna win all the way? Who's going all the way?
The Spurs.
The Spurs?
I'm a Laker fan, and I'd like to say that the Lakers are going to win, but they're not. I'm a huge Laker fan. I'm watching the game tomorrow, but it's the Spurs. I just think that because their guard is really fast and they have a 7'6" center, I would say the Spurs are going to win.
Do you ever go to the games?
Yeah. Dude, I was at the game when Kobe Bryant scored 81 points. I also was at the game when Kobe Bryant tore his Achilles tendon. So I've seen the best and worst of it. Yeah. Pretty incredible. I even have the ticket stub still from the 81-point game.
That's the part I missed. They don't give you ticket stubs anymore.
No, I know. It's just on your little phone or whatever.
See, It's not the same. You can't do the picture frame anymore.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's late. Let's get off. It was great chatting with you, dude. And I'm really happy that you've started to see some success with all the hard work you've been putting in, and hopefully people watching this got to see that you're a pretty cool dude and you live a cool life.
Detroit Pistons all the way. Thank you very much, and same to you.
Go Lakers.
All right.